Hey, this is Alex Kapranos of Franz Ferdinand, and you're listening to Capsule on liveinlimbo.com.
Get to the point and point to the open door. Get right to the point and there's the door. Tell everybody to piss off tonight. They should piss off and leave you alone in your world tonight. Most will listen and take the hint. Know that this ain't a compliment, and they should piss off and leave you alone in your world tonight. I gaze into my crystal ball. I see a future free for all, where football and cheap alcohol has shook me to the core. I'll enjoy each minute, so I'll add to my portfolio of epithets and Cheerios.
You're listening to Capsule on liveinlimbo.com. My name is Sean Chin, and this is an adventure into music, film, and pop culture. Franz Ferdinand are an indie rock band from Glasgow, Scotland. Their self-titled debut album charted at number 3 in the UK album charts, and they went on to win a Brit Award and Mercury Music Prize. They are highly decorated now, and I'm thrilled to be joined by their incredibly talented lead singer, Alex Kapranos. Thank you for dropping in. How's your day going?
I'm really good, thanks. Really good.
I know that you just ran out to grab a bite, and I know that you're a pretty sophisticated foodie. I really love that video that you did recently with Charlotte Rampling about Paris and like food there, because they just made a French version of your book Soundbites. How's that?
That's right. It was good. Yeah, we sort of walked around. What's the name of the street again? I've just forgotten it. It's a really great street in Paris with lots of fancy little food shops. So I just nipped out to get some dinner. I'm in London at the moment, and there's a great little Italian deli up the road. So and they have a lot. I think the family that runs it is Sicilian. So you get all those amazing tomato sauces that you get from Marzamemi, and the really sweet tomatoes and good sausage. So yeah, that's what my folks are getting for tea tonight.
I'm hungry too now. What's the most recent great food experience you've had that you can share?
I actually was in Sicily recently. We played a gig there in Catania, and I was there with my girlfriend, and we drove down to Marzamemi in the south. And I love Italian food generally, but I particularly love Sicilian food. And there's one thing that they do in Sicily, I think called cremolata, which is it's a bit like the granita, the sort of soft ice cream. It's more like a sorbet than an ice cream. And the cremolata is made purely with fresh fruit, and it's frozen fresh fruit that's been mashed up, and it's very seasonal. They only do it as the fruit is ripe. At the time I was there, you could get the Gelsi cremolata, which is made from the mulberries that happen to be in the season now. I think it's only like 2 or 3 weeks you can get it for, and it's such a treat. There's something really special about eating food when it's totally seasonal like that, and oh my God, the flavor, it's so rich, it's amazing.
After you eat these amazing foods, do you ever try to recreate it yourself?
Well, I guess it depends on what it is. Like with the Gelsi cremolata, there's no way you could reproduce it, because you have to have those mulberries that are straight off the tree and made that day. And I don't have the equipment or the expertise to make cremolata. But there are other things, definitely you sort of sit and try and work out what that is that you're eating, and you'll sort of maybe see a way they've done it. Like in Sicily, there's a lot of slow baked aubergine and that kind of thing. And so I try and recreate some of that sort of stuff when I get back home.
How do you find new places to go to? Is that just by word of mouth, or you read?
It's usually word of mouth. Sometimes I'll read up on places and sort of read about a city. Bob, our bass player, he's vegan, and so often we'll try and find interesting vegan places to go to. Like we were in oh, where was it? It was Switzerland, Zurich. We were in Zurich, and there was this incredible vegan restaurant there. It was run by a couple of guys that were obviously kind of like ex-hardcore, straight-edge kind of guys, but they'd opened this amazing, high-level restaurant. It was purely vegan, and that was really cool as well, like, because I love vegan food when it's done well, and I hate it when it's done badly, because to me when it's done badly it's when it tries to replicate meat products, and when you have all these textured soya burgers and that sort of thing, when there are so many other ways you can be inventive without using meat or dairy products. And this place was really cool.
I actually totally agree with you about the whole them trying to make soy into like feel like meat. I agree with you there.
Yeah, you don't need to have meat. You don't need to have... I mean, I do eat meat, but I eat it very rarely, and you don't have to replicate it.
No, not at all.
So many cultures around the world have been surviving without it for so long.
What's the point of that? All right, Alex, let's talk about music now. So I talked to Ron Mail a few weeks ago about how you guys came together with Franz Ferdinand and Sparks, but I would like to ask you now, why and what motivated you to create with them?
Right. Well, we first met Ron and Russell back in 2004. It was just after our first single in North America had come out, Take Me Out, and they'd heard it on the radio, I think, and then had read about the band, read about us in the NME, and in the interview I'd mentioned that I was a fan of Sparks, and so they said, oh, wow, we should meet up with these guys. So we met up, had a coffee, and we talked about maybe doing a split single or something like that together. I think the original idea was that we would write a song for each other and the other band would play it. Then things went crazy for us, and we didn't really have the opportunity to follow through on that. Then 2.5 years ago, I was in San Francisco with a broken tooth, searching for a dentist, and I heard this voice behind me in the street say, Alex, is that you? Turned around, and it was Ron and Russell, and I went to their show that night. We all went down and got talking about maybe trying another collaborative idea. We said, well, let's send each other some song ideas and see what happens. And very quickly, it just worked, I don't think either of us had any expectations. We certainly weren't planning to make an album, and certainly weren't planning to tour. It was just, well, let's see what happens. And it worked, very, very quickly. We had a collection of songs, and we kept it to ourselves. Didn't tell anybody. In fact, we didn't tell the label until we'd written more than an album's worth of songs. And then said, hey, you know how we were hanging out with Ron and Russell? Well, we've kind of written an album. Are you cool with putting that out? And yeah, they were, thank God.
Are you surprised with the critical acclaim and the crowds coming out to the shows? Did you expect that?
It's been great. It's been amazing. I mean, we weren't really expecting anything. I mean, I don't know if we were even expecting to make the album. We were just seeing what would happen. And so, and I also feel that as we were making the record, and particularly when we were recording and it was taking its final form, we were kind of puzzled by it to a degree ourselves in a good way. We were sort of like, well, what is this? It isn't Franz Ferdinand, it isn't Sparks, it's something completely new, which is what we wanted to do, but we had no idea what the reaction to it would be, because it wasn't really like anything that either of us had put out before. And so, yeah, I thought, well, let's make it, and let's see what happens. And it's been really touching. It's been touching because I feel that a lot of our fans have been very supportive. A lot of Sparks fans have been supportive, but it feels like we've drawn in some new people that maybe didn't know about either band before as well, and that's really special. That's
the beauty of it. What qualities do you feel that they bring to the table that mesh nicely with yours on stage?
Well, I guess we were lucky in the form that the collaboration took because of the instrumentation, the fact that Ron plays keyboards and we don't have a dedicated keyboard player, and even in the way that Russell's voice is in its character very different from mine. Russell has this high soaring falsetto and I have this much deeper voice, and it worked really well. So and also in songwriting styles, like I think we both aim to get to a similar place. Like we both love the idea of pop music, but love the idea as well that pop music doesn't have to be formulaic, and that you can stray out the boundaries of what's expected of pop music, but still write a direct melody and a lyric that hits you straight away. which is what the definition of pop music is for me. And so, yeah, we kind of approach it, like Ron's way of playing the keyboard is different from the way that we play, and the way that we play guitars isn't something that, and the way we write melody isn't similar, but they mesh together surprisingly well.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you were creating the album, tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you encountered and then how you overcame them, like technically.
Well, I guess the initial challenge, I suppose, was the fact that we were separated by 6,000 miles. Ron and Russell were in Los Angeles, and we were either in Scotland or in London or on tour. Because when we started work, we were just beginning the tour of our fourth album. In a way, that actually added to the creative process, I think, because I'm quite happy with sitting in a room with another musician. I really enjoy that. Ron, I don't think is so comfortable with that. I think he much prefers working on his own and responding to an idea in his own time, in his own space. So I think that really benefited Ron. And I really enjoyed the challenge. It felt almost like having a pen pal. You'd send an idea over and see what they would do with it and look forward to what their idea would be and what their response would be. And yeah, it was a really exciting few months that took the form of the writing process. And other technical challenges, well, one thing we didn't want to do is record it remotely. We wanted it to be a band, and we wanted to record the performance of a band as well. So we rehearsed and arranged and sort of knew the songs inside out before we went anywhere near the studio. And so what you hear on the record is the sound of 6 musicians all playing together in one room at the same time. And I've got nothing against sequencing an album, sequencing a song in a recording. But I think there's something really special that you get when you do have a set of musicians all playing together at the same time. There's a life and an energy to it which is impossible to replicate.
Absolutely. So I think it's been about 2.5 years since you guys released Right Thoughts, Right Words, Right Actions.
Yeah.
What have you been doing during that time? And did you learn anything new about yourself personally during that time, like as in a reflection phase?
Oh, God, I guess you're always learning new things. Over that time, since we released the album, I guess we did what bands usually do. We toured a hell of a lot. And the thing is, as soon as we came off tour, we went straight into the studio. We went into the studio almost a year ago. It was October. And so I think we had about a week off, and then we started rehearsing and arranging for the FFS project and went straight into the studio. So we haven't really broken the sort of creative and performing process since we started recording the Right Thoughts, Right Words album, which I like. I'm not a big fan of long holidays and breaks. I do what I love to do, and I feel restless when I'm not doing it. My girlfriend, she loves going on the beach. I tend to sit around on the beach going, I'd rather be making some music right now.
Well, you could bring your iPhone with you and just record some stuff on the beach.
Yeah, program some beats. And I do that, actually. I find that the iPhone or smartphones, the thing that I love about them more than anything else, more than the connection to the internet, having maps or blah-de-blah, all these incredible apps, it's the fact that you can record with them so easily. Like when I was first starting music, like having a tape recorder and having lots and lots of tapes with ideas on is just the way I did it. And it was kind of like a pain in the arse to organize it all and sort of like keep a track of all your ideas. On a phone, it's really easy. You've got this little app and it records and it's always in your pocket. It's amazing because you get ideas in all sorts of odd places. Often when you wake up, first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night, you get an idea, and nowadays just reach for your phone and sing your idea into it, and you've got it there later on to come back to.
I love that you're embracing technology. I love your new album, FFS, and I want all of our listeners to download that on iTunes. My favorite track from the album is Piss Off. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, where did that come from, your life experience?
It's a fun song. It's a really fun song to play live as well. And I guess all of us in our lives have one moment, probably several moments where you just want to tell everybody to piss off.
Absolutely, I know.
Yeah, it's funny as well. It's funny singing it with Russell too, because like it feels like such a British expression, to piss off. I don't. Do you use it in Canada much?
No, we're too polite. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh right. Oh no. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but yeah, it's definitely something you'd see in Glasgow a lot. So yeah, and it's cool. It's really cool as well to get an entire audience singing "Piss Off" back at you. that appeals to my sense of humor.
You feed off that for sure. Now that the album is out in the wild and you're now touring all over the world, Europe, Asia, and you're going to be coming to North America, is the reaction from these different geographic areas different, or do you find like there's like a unity in what they love about your music?
It does seem to be fairly unanimous. I guess one thing that's different is not so much for us, but with Sparks, because I noticed that there are elements of the audience that are Sparks fans, and Sparks definitely had different connections in different parts of the world. Like in the UK, they were known mainly for what they did in the 1970s, whereas in Germany, for example, they're known for a song called "When Do I Get to Sing My Way," which they did in the mid-90s. In North America, I guess it's more for what they did in the early 80s that they're known over there. And so in the set, we play covers. We play covers of Franz Ferdinand songs and play covers of Sparks songs. And we feel like covers because they don't really sound like Franz Ferdinand or Sparks playing them, but this new band, FFS, playing them. And so sometimes when we play some of these Sparks songs, there won't be a connection in one place, but there'll be a really strong connection in another country where it had more of an impact.
That's a very unique thing. And you'll be bringing this whole tour to Toronto at the Sound Academy on Wednesday, September 30. It's going to be packed. I know all of my friends are going to be there. Are you excited for Toronto?
Yeah, I can't wait. It feels like ages since we're in Toronto. I guess it wasn't that long ago. Maybe about a year and a half ago, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, we're really looking forward to coming over. And yeah, the live shows have been a lot of fun, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
Do you have any experiences, like food experiences from Canada that you can talk about?
Yeah, I remember when I was writing my my food book. Oh God, I've just forgotten the name of the restaurant. But I was down on Queen Street, and there was a Persian restaurant that had just opened up. I'm going to try and remember the name of it. But it had just opened up. It was the first day, and it's still there, and it's a really remarkable place. I love Persian food as well. One of my best friends when I was growing up, my friend Andrew, who's the first guy I started writing music with, his mum was Iranian, and also my uncle married an Iranian woman, and I used to so look forward to going around to their places to eat. Persian foods.
Any food and any dish in particular from that restaurant?
I remember they did something with rose petals, and that's quite an unusual thing to find in food and such a sort of delicate flavour. And as a complete contrast, when I go to Toronto, I always look forward to a bit of poutine as well, or Canada generally. Poutine, yeah, that's a nice sloppy street treat.
You gotta have it.
Street treat, yeah.
It clogs the arteries, though, but it's okay.
Yeah. In Glasgow, we have chips and cheese, which is not quite the same, but heading in the same direction. Certainly probably does the same damage to your arteries, but goddamn, after a few drinks, it tastes good.
Absolutely. All right. I asked Ron Mail on this show last week, what 3 songs would you put on your feel-good playlist? Oh,
just songs in general?
Yes.
Okay. A feel-good playlist. I'm trying to think. Oh God, my mind always goes blank in these situations. I'm trying to think what I've been listening to. There's a band called Teleman that I really love, and I'm going to pick a song that has quite a melancholy air to it. But I think that often when I listen to a melancholic song, this song does something which I really love. When music can do this, it's perfect for me. It's when a song is melancholic and uplifting at the same time, and it does make you feel good, and it makes you address the melancholy and rise above it and acknowledge it and still feel good. And the song's called 23 Floors Up, and tell him, I don't know if they've been to Toronto yet, but they're a great band from London. They're recording another album just now, and so yeah, that's my first song. Next song would be feel good song. It would be "I Put a Spell on You" by Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Nice.
Again, quite a sinister song this time, but there's something so raw about that song, like both in his vocal delivery and it's the saxophone. It's so raw and an amazing song as well. Like it's one of the greatest rock and roll songs ever written and recorded, but no guitar, no electric guitar in it at all. I think it's like a banjo or something like that, playing the rhythm part and a double bass, and then this really ripping sort of saxophone that I feel really good. Like even just thinking about that song, I'm getting a total buzz. But as for a total straight out feel good song, I'd choose "On the Regular" by Shamir. I mean that's
amazing.
Just,
yes.
Yeah, just such a great. Yeah, I mean you can't do anything but be in a good mood when that song.
I feel good right now just hearing your playlist.
Oh, cool.
There, it works.
Maybe I'm going to go and listen to these songs after we've had our chat.
That's amazing. All right. Thank you, Alex, so much. I guess we could talk for so much longer, but you're a busy man and you're off to play music, I guess.
I'll have to make my tea for my mum and dad.
Oh, that's right. That's more important. That's more important.
Well, yeah, lovely to chat to you, and look forward to seeing you in Toronto. Cheers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex. Have a great day. See you soon.
You're welcome. You too. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What a spectacular artist that Alex is, eh? Just a very uplifting, positive, and multi-talented guy. I cannot wait to see them live. Again, I highly recommend you download his latest album called FFS on iTunes. You can follow them online on Twitter at Franz_Ferdinand or at FFS_music, or on Facebook at official Franz Ferdinand. You can follow myself on Twitter at Sean Chin, or follow the show at Live in Limbo and use the hashtag Capsule Podcast to join in on the conversation. Please subscribe to the show in iTunes, give us 5 stars, and leave us some nice words in the comments section. And as always, you can find the show notes at liveinlimbo.com/capsule. Take care.